Our guest is here, Josh Manning, editor-at-large, the Western Journal. The website is westernjournal.com, one of the biggest conservative websites in America. And Josh is always with us in his man cave / gun cellar. Josh, are you there? There he is. Hey, Josh, what's going on?
Wayne, it was an opening rant for the record. I've got to tell you, they kicked on the audio. I was watching. They kicked on the audio for me right in the middle of it. And what I heard was gay man's sister in Senate.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, they dropped me in at the perfect time.
Yes, because I think the whole thing is distasteful and offensive. Again, this is not a gay rant. I don't care if someone's gay. I care that because he's gay, he had no wife and he had no children. So you've got the seat must be owned by his family. Senate seats are owned. This is England, isn't it?
Apparently.
It's the royal family. You're owned. So we've got to give it to someone. He's got a sister. There's at least one body left alive with the Graham name. Let's give it to her. I find that to be so offensive and so wrong.
This is more uniparty, small d, anti-democratic garbage. Don't let the people decide. The elites have to decide. And hey, let's make it nepotism. Let's make it monarchical. It's just absolutely nuts. And your point about her being a social worker,
right?
I mean, these are the worst possible people to make decisions for society at large.
And what does she believe in? Does anyone know what she believes in? She went on Fox News, and I heard I heard at Fox News it was like a loop. They had made her memorize something. She kept saying it again and again. I'm for the people. I'm for gas prices. Yes, I'm going to worry about gas prices and the people. I mean, she's just a plant who doesn't know anything about anything. She's no national politician. What a joke.
Do you know if she's met with Trump?
Yes, she did. And Trump is the one who urged her to run permanently for the seat. Yes. And I love Trump. Right. You know, you might have missed the first part of this show. You know, I had a big birthday party, my 65th, on Sunday night here in Las Vegas. It was a big blowout, 100 people attending. Thank you. And President Trump sent a beautiful letter. I mean, a beautiful letter letting everyone know how he felt about me, and told me to read it to the crowd. And so, look, I'm always on his side, but that doesn't mean I can't occasionally disagree on something. Overall, I'm going to be a Trumper my whole life. I love the guy, and I think he's a great president. He's the greatest president of my lifetime. I think he's top 5 in the history of America. I think he tries to do great things every day, but very little gets done because there's insurrection, communist judges standing in the way. So not enough is getting done, but he certainly give him an A+++ for trying. But he does make mistakes with personnel. I've seen him hire the wrong people. Bill Barr, Jeff Sessions.
Well, the entire first term.
Right. Amy Coney Barrett. What a bad decision. So he does make bad decisions with personnel, and I think he's doing it again because you don't hire Lindsey Graham's sister. You should have had, hey, empathy that Lindsey died. He was your friend. He was always around you. He always had his hand on your back. He seemed to love you, President Trump. Great. Empathy is good. He died. Let's feel bad. That doesn't mean you hire the first person who comes along with the same last name. This was a mistake. Just my belief.
Very, very strange. All I can do is go back to the uniparty. They don't want to it's too dangerous to give grassroots, real American voters the opportunity to vote. That's all I can go back to on it. This is how the uniparty views us. It's how the uniparty views people like you and people like me and people like my neighbors down the gravel road who keep chickens. They don't want us really weighing in. I mean, good gosh, remember 2016, when was the convention? June 2016? All of the GOP bigwigs went in saying, we're going to kill it. Trump's not getting it. We're going to kill it off there. Don't care what the people
didn't work
say.
Out that
we're
way.
going to kill it
there.
And it didn't. But that mentality is still out there. Oh, we've got control. We are the elites. We good fellows know really more about what's good for the stupid everyday proles than they do. It's so infuriating.
Well, and so the elites, Josh, the elites looked at the heritage rating and they see that Lindsey was 59% lifetime. And I'm telling you, it was much lower than that until the last 2 years when he supported Trump most of the time. So it was probably 52%, the one that I saw starting this session lifetime, which means he's basically a Democrat just as much as a Republican. And then they saw this guy, Norman, who's jumped in the race, Republican congressman. He's got a 98% heritage rating. And the establishment, in their great wisdom, decided we'd rather have the 50% rated guy than the 98% guy, because they're not conservative and they don't care about heritage ratings. They don't care about MAGA, and they stab Trump in the back every chance they get. Look at today. I can't believe they can't pass the Save America Act, but today's even worse. They can't even pass the daylight savings thing that Trump wants. So we have just one time zone. Doesn't everybody want one time zone? I don't want to change my clocks anymore. I don't want to wake up an hour late anymore. I want one time zone all year. You can't even, the American public's for that, and they're for the Save America Act like 90%. And you can't even get a Republican Senate to back Trump on either one of them. So why would he want another person who's like that?
The reason they don't want the 98% rating is because the 98% means they can't control him. That 98% means he's beholden to ideas and to the American people.
Good ideas.
And good ideas, important ideas that are not great for the elites.
Right,
so
they're great for me. I'm an SOB. I'm an SOB, a son of a butcher, right? They're great for a butcher, but they're not great for the average elitist who runs some multinational corporation that wants illegal aliens to be his employees, not Americans. It's not great for them. Whereas she will be great for corporate America, just like Lindsey Graham was great for corporate America.
You take somebody like her who's essentially, she's kind of Biden, right? She's probably a wax and effigy. She's empty on the inside.
Right.
She probably doesn't know anything. And so her handlers can fill her with whatever they want. And her handlers are absolutely going to be Lindsey's people. And so get ready for another 58 if we're lucky, because again, your point, social worker. There is a place for empathy in our society. It's incredibly important. Women provide most of that. They have to because of nurturing children. Otherwise, they would kill the children. But men, when you bring that into, well, it's true. But when you bring that into the reality of politics and decisions for the entire country, and making hard decisions that actually are really uncomfortable, and maybe they hurt people in the short term, but we have to make those to secure the country in the long term. I would not trust a social worker with a decision like that. Not just 15 seconds, let alone the rest of the term.
Not just a social worker, a lifelong government check woman. She's never made money in the private sector. Her whole life is collecting government checks. She's a government employee.
If you get a check from the government other than Social Security,
and Medicare,
you paid into that.
And Medicare.
And Medicare, yes. But anything else, direct or indirect, you should not be able to vote. You just absolutely shouldn't.
Right. And by the way,
we'll never get that one done.
I naively
we think daylight savings should be easy.
You can't
Imagine
get daylight
getting
savings
that done, or term limits.
Hey, Josh, all my life I've been under 65, so I never was on Medicare. So I always naively thought that once I got Medicare, and I started at July 1st, by the way. I was on Medicare as of July 1st. I naively thought Medicare is free because I've paid into it my whole life. Do you know that I'm paying $811 a month for Medicare? Because I make too much money.
And you pay taxes on your Social Security.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's so wretched. It's so
I pay into it my whole life. Why shouldn't I get it free? It's ridiculous.
The Trump accounts, apropos of nothing, I guess, but the Trump accounts for kids, that's maybe our stepping stone out of this. If he does that right, if we stick with it, and if we begin directing even a little bit more money toward those accounts, that can eventually wean us off of these horrible programs like Social Security that just loses
you poor naive
right.
man. You're just very naive.
I said good. I didn't
Nothing's
say
ever going to wean anyone off. Do you know how that? Look, if you have the media on your side, everything is possible. Nothing's impossible. And so we've proven. Today there were like 20 articles proving the 2020 election were stolen. It's tumbling out of the closet. Nobody reads any of it unless you're reading the Gateway Pundit or your website, josh'swesternjournal.com. If you're not reading a mega conservative website, You're not hearing any of this. The mainstream media is a bunch of liars. And so if those government programs that Trump just set up actually make people a lot of money because the interest rate paid is so much higher because you're investing in the stock market, right? Instead of saying, ooh, the stock market worked and private investment worked, you know what the media will paint it as? Government made you that money. It was putting it in a government account that made you that money. That's how they'll pitch it. You'll never get rid of these programs. Never.
Wayne, remember though, the 2020 election wasn't stolen. The 2016 election was stolen. That's what Hillary Clinton told us. That's what Democrats.
But she wasn't an election denier.
She wasn't an election denier. We've got a 5-minute supercut of Democrats saying that election was stolen. That's going up today or hopefully tomorrow. So be looking for it. But this, when you said that, it just made me think of it. They started this. It's all of these wretched, horrible things. Environmentalism, destruction of the family, destruction of the black family. All of these things are started by Democrats, by leftists. I remember a friend in grad school. She was a Republican and a conservative. But she was talking about how, man, you know, Republicans really, they're so aggressive on the environmental stuff and so reactionary. I said, what are you talking about? The left Democrats started this. We're fighting for the traditional view on these things. They're the ones shoving all of these regulations down our throats. But
by the way,
she wasn't thinking in terms of them being the ones who are the first movers every time on horrible policies.
You reminded me of a story I need to tell because my oldest daughter is now pregnant with my first grandchild. My first grandchild will be due in September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she got married, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. And she got married again, or at least had a wedding party in Europe where her husband is from Europe. And so my youngest daughter and all my kids went to that party. I did not. I'm busy with TV and radio every day, and I don't need to go to that. She even told me, don't go to it. You won't like it. You don't like Europe. You don't like that they don't have any air conditioning. You're not going to like it in July. So I didn't go. So my oldest daughter had a wedding party in Europe for their family. So my daughter went, my youngest daughter. I had dinner with her last night. She just got back, and she said it was a wonderful trip because she loves her sister, her older sister. But she also said it was a miserable trip because there was nobody had air conditioning. The Uber cars didn't have air conditioning. The homes didn't have air conditioning. The hotels have air conditioning, and they were in some hotels, but they were also staying at the house of her in-laws, and they had no air conditioning. And it was so hot, and people were dying all over Europe. And then when they get to the next train, they got taken Uber. There's no air conditioning in the Uber car. And then when and then another friend of mine's in Europe right now, a great friend of mine is in Germany right now. And I said, how's the trip? She said, horrible. It's broiling out. And because of the Ukraine war, nobody puts their air conditioning on because now the costs are up by 80%. So in the middle of the day, when it's 95 degrees in Europe with high humidity, she said all the restaurants have their air conditioning off. And you just go, these people live in a different world than us. In America, we blast air conditioning in our cars, in our homes, in our restaurants, in our offices. It's freezing. It's so cold you're shaking. We love it that way. They live in the Stone Ages in Europe. Do we want to be them with their socialist green energy loser attitude?
Remember how the day after Mamdani told people to turn their air up to, was it 78? The day after that, the New York Post went into City Hall and found a room that was 58 degrees.
There you go. There you go.
The Chinese use.
That was my room.
In China.
that was my room. It's always 58 here. Ask Patar. Patar has to wear a winter jacket while he directs my show because I like it so cold. It's an ice box. It's my father, the butcher's ice box in here. It's 58 degrees. I'm telling you. The air conditioning blasts all year, not in the summer. In the middle of the winter, I blast the air conditioner in my TV studio.
But they're such rubes because even the Chinese have air conditioning and use it. So the stupid Europeans who thought, and you're right about the energy consumption issue, but the stupid Europeans who thought, well, we've got to do our part Britain's thing. We've got to show the way, and decided they weren't going to use electricity and they were going to cut down on electricity.
Because that will lower climate change. That will lower global warming.
Yeah. All they're doing
Idiots.
is letting the Chinese blast their air conditioning, and they don't blast it like we do. They can't. They don't produce enough energy in their air conditioners.
Josh, just like Democrats would like us to stop coal, stop nuclear, stop fracking, well, China builds a new coal-fired plant every hour of the day. It's embarrassing how stupid we are.
They are so anti-human, Democrats. Energy is the thing that has saved lives, that has brought more people out of poverty in the last 50 years than in the last 500, 5,000 combined. They are against anything that helps humans flourish. And when you look at the people who are out there, look at the Antifa people, look at the people who are protesting ICE.
They're ugly.
The trans
They're
people.
ugly.
They're ugly.
They need masks.
Unnatural. They do. Yeah. Thank God for the masks. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. Thank God for the masks. Finally, these people are anti-human. They're anti-human.
By the way, just a simple example. Okay, if in the name of global warming and in the name of climate change and in the name of green energy, an average person in America with an average apartment, instead of having a $105 electric bill, is going to have a $955 electric bill. You're not going to be able to go out to eat. You won't even be able to afford McDonald's. You're going to ride a bicycle instead of drive a car. Your life's going to be misery. And you won't be able to afford to have kids, and you won't be able to get a new car for 20 years if you have a car. But if your electric bill is back to $105, now you can eat out, and you can go on vacation, and you can have a good life, and you can have a car, and you can get a new car every 3 years. Are you really willing to, in the name of climate change and global warming, ruin your life like that, destroy your quality of life in order to pay a $955 electric bill instead of a $105 electric bill? And that's a very real world example of what green energy does to electric bills. So middle class people cannot survive with green energy. It's a disaster.
Two things are responsible for the actual liberation of women from grinding household work. One is the advent of sanitary products, and the other is electricity. Electricity allowed them to run the home in a fraction of the time that they used to require. All of a sudden, it freed up either time for them to relax or time for them to go work. And by the way, sanitary products are only made because we have the energy to do it. So if you want to destroy women's lives, if you want to rechain them to the oven, that is the way to do it. Increase electricity, increase energy prices. That will do it. Yet these stupid feminists sit there and scream about this stuff all day long. What's her name?
And I'll give you one more thing it ties into. One more thing it ties into.
She is convinced that this is important. It destroys women. Sorry.
One more kind of suggestion, one more side effect that this all ties into is all my life, and it's not like I'm a cook. Believe me, I'm not a cook. My wives have been cooks. I'm not a cook. But I do cook sometimes. I make breakfast pretty good, and I make a good lunch for me and Pitar once in a while. I'm not bad with certain things, and the reason I'm able to cook is on a gas stove. And all these liberals in places like New York City and LA are banning gas hookups. You can't. Any new home built has to be electric. Do you have any idea how hard it is to cook on an electric stove? It's misery. And do you have any idea how expensive it is to use the electricity to cook instead of to use cheap natural gas? It's suicide. They want economic suicide of our race. They want to wipe out middle-class people.
Yeah, they do.
The food won't taste good, and the cost will destroy your finances if you go with electric stoves instead of gas. You're an idiot if you believe in things like this.
Wayne, remember 15 years ago, before gas was ultra cheap, because we had found so much before that, remember, the greenies liked it. They like, oh, gas is clean. Ooh, that's a good thing. We should be.
They also liked vote. There was a point where they liked election security. They liked a wall. Well, they didn't want illegals in the country. Harry Reid gave a speech years ago against birthright citizenship. They just go back and lie about everything if it helps them win power forever.
But you're right. But on the gas thing, once it became cheap and once it became adopted, all of a sudden they turned on it because they don't want people flourishing. They are
Right.
anti-human, anti-humanity, anti-humanists who they think we're a virus. And the ones who are just kind of blind, foolish, useful idiots, they don't really think that, but everything coming out of their mouths argues for that. And any policy that they push that is adopted equals that. I mean, these are people who think we're a virus on the planet and that the planet somehow would be better without us.
And listen, Josh, I agree with you. I agree with you. Some of them think that. I think a lot of them are not quite that heavy thinkers. And I think all
that's
they
what I'm
think,
saying. They're useful idiots.
I think all they think is this is what their grand plan is. Look, everyone I know who makes money, and rich is a funny word. I don't know if they're rich, but anyone who makes enough money to be semi-independent is a Republican voter. And anyone I know who owns a business is a Republican voter.
Yeah.
And all my friends who own restaurants are Republican voters. And all my friends who own a lot of stocks are Republican voters. All my friends who own $1 million houses are Republican voters. So if they can take all that away from you, they'll make you dependent on a government check. Then you become a big government Democrat. That's all. I think that's all that's in most of their minds. I don't think they're smart enough, most of them, to say the things you're saying. There's definitely people who believe what you believe, but they're the intellectuals. But the average Democrat doesn't think that. They just think, let's flood the nation with illegals because they'll vote Democrat as long as we keep giving them welfare checks and refuse to deport them and protect them from deportation. They'll vote Democrat. And I got you. I hear you. And he's letting me know we only got 5 minutes to the end of the show. I kept you all the way with no break. So when you and I start talking, it goes forever. But the average person thinks let the illegals in, they'll vote Democrat and bankrupt the rich people, and they'll all pay government to save them with checks. And then they become, we've ensnared them. They become like us. They want government. When you want government, you vote Democrat. I think that's all that's on most of their minds for the simple ones.
That's I'm going to push back a little bit. I think that's the middle level Democrats you're talking about. The true useful idiots, though, they just think they're being nice. They think, oh, the pastures are lovely. Clean water is good. I'm going to vote for this. Oh, man, deporting people back to Haiti, that's kind of mean. I'm going to vote for this.
White people are bad.
The social war and
white people are bad. How about that one?
Don't
you think they think that? They think that white people are bad. The white liberals think white people are bad.
James Tallarico, we're immune to racism, Wayne. Well, you're not because you're Jewish. I'm just an honorary Jew. But he said white people are immune to racism, but they carry the virus. Again, these viral terms they use.
Well, like those are elitist brainwashed nut jobs. That's a real brainwashed nut job.
But,
those are the true believers.
But the useful idiots, they're the ones who think they're doing something nice. And they've not thought past that. The political class, I agree with you. They want to flood the country with voters. And part of it is they think it's unfair that we have the advantages that we have. And they've believed all the anti-colonial garbage that started being taught in universities and academia back in the 90s and 2000s. And then the heavy-hitting intellectuals, they're anti-human. They hate humanity.
Let me tell you what I think. I've been saying for 2 years now. 2 years now, I've been saying out loud that America's headed for divorce. We need a great American divorce because we can't live with these people. You cannot compromise with these people. And I've been saying again and again, I wrote the book in 2005. Can you imagine? I was 20 years ahead of my time, 21 years, called Millionaire Republican. It was if you are a millionaire or you ever want to be a millionaire, have any hope of ever being a millionaire or ever want your kids to be successful, you have to move to a red state because blue states will stifle you, destroy you, and take your money. And look what's happening in New York and LA. Everybody's leaving with money. Everybody with means is getting out. And I keep saying that the Democrat cities that are left, if all the rich people leave, and all doesn't mean every single one of them, but the majority of rich people leave, there's going to be no one left to pay the bills, and those cities are going to be destroyed. They're going to collapse. What did Trump say today? Trump warns Democrat-run states are going to become the ghettos of the future as rich people and companies flee. Everything I've been saying since 2005 has come true, and the canary in the coal mine has died. And I'm telling you, all these cities that Mandami run and Karen Bass run and Johnson and Chicago run, they're all dying cities. They don't know it yet. They're dead men walking. The rich people are leaving. The white people are leaving. The Jews that they hate so much because they make too much money, the Jews are all leaving. And all that's going to be left are poor people, and there's no one left to pay the bills.
The teen takeovers we're seeing, imagine that writ large when there are no white people left. Maybe half the Asians are gone. There are no Jews left. Imagine what these cities are going to be like.
Well, I know.
It
was the movie.
Primal,
it was the movie with Mel Gibson. What was that movie called again with Mel Gibson from 30 years ago, 40 years ago? Mad Max. It's going to be Mad Max. It's going to look like Mad Max. Yeah. Our whole country's going to look like. I don't know if you saw this. There was a story in the Daily Mail yesterday, and then we got to run soon. Story in the Daily Mail about a guy who took a lie detector test in front of the media in the last week, and it all came back that he was telling the truth. He says he's a time traveler. And he's visited.
I did say that.
He's visited 20 years from now. He says America's not going to exist in 4 years. By the year 2030, America will be part of a global world that takes care of each other. There will be no more America. I tend to agree with them. If we don't divorce, they're going to lead us to this. We're dead. This country is finally going to be killed. I think he's telling the truth. I don't know about a time traveler, but I think he's a visionary who sees the future. And sometime in the near future, Democrats are going to try and take us away from being a country. They hate it. They hate us. They want globalism. They want us to all be part of a one world empire. And we will be no different than England and Denmark and Germany and Italy and Spain. It's happening. And the time traveler claims he saw it all already. We are no longer going to be a country. And we're not going to have money anymore, he said. There will be no money. There's going to be a chip implanted in your body. And every time you buy something, you run the chip across a little computer, and it marks what you've spent, and it takes it out of your bank account automatically. So, doesn't that seem real to you? I think all that's going to happen. I really do, if we're not very careful.
Well, there's a biblical element to that for sure, and I do agree with you. It
Mark of the
can't
beast.
Go on like that. Yeah, it can't go on like this. Something is going to happen. It's just a question of what it is. But if the country
whether it's
collapses,
a civil war
Wayne,
or a divorce, a nice friendly divorce.
Wayne, come down to Arkansas. You can hang out. You can be my neighbor. You can have access to the guns back there. Life will be good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The divorce is the red states of America versus the blue. And Arkansas and Utah and Oklahoma and Florida and Georgia and North Carolina and South Carolina, Tennessee will all be part of the red states of America. Alabama, the red states of America. Right? It's Missouri, the red states of America. We're going to have to band together, and we can't live with these people anymore, because otherwise I believe there will be a civil war and we'll kill each other in the streets. And I'd much rather have a friendly or even an unfriendly War of the Roses divorce than a violent civil war in the streets. So I keep urging a divorce, which is an alternative to the husband and the wife who hate each other killing each other. I'd rather see an acrimonious divorce than murder, right, in front of the kids. So that's why I keep talking about a divorce. Look, we got to go. They're telling me in my ear our time is up. We're already late. We've talked for a half hour here, my friend. So remember the old days? I used to have you on for 10 minutes. Now it's a half hour. So we got a lot of Josh Manning today. A lot of Josh Manning. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Could have enjoyed it more. Thanks, Wayne.
All right, Josh Manning, westernjournal.com. Westernjournal.com. That's it for today. I'm Wayne Allyn Root. Don't forget, in less than 1 hour, it's America Speaks, where you get to talk to Wayne Root. 800-347-ROOT. 800-347-ROOT. Call that number, leave a voicemail, and I'll play your voicemail on the air, and I'll talk about it. I'll respond to it. Or stay on the line and talk to me at 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time. America Speaks. And one more thing. On Friday, the 7th of August, so that's coming up in just like 2.5 weeks. Friday, the 7th of August, mark it in your calendar. Wayne Root is doing a live show in Las Vegas at Ahern Hotel. America Speaks will be live, and I'll have a live audience, and you get to ask me questions in person right there on national TV. Live show. Stay tuned for the details. We'll get you free tickets to go to Wayne Root's live show right in Ahern Hotel on Friday, August 7th. We're doing 2 RAV shows, and so Eric Bowling will do his show live, followed by Wayne Allyn Root with America Speaks Live, and you will have a great 2-hour marathon of conservative talk shows TV shows live in Las Vegas with a Las Vegas audience live. So stay tuned for all the information about that. Friday, August 7th. We hope we'll see you there. Free attendance for everybody. We love to see you. Okay, 800-347-ROOT. My show coming up next where I talk to all of you. See ya tomorrow. Same time, same place, right here, Warzone Live. RootForAmerica.com. Email WayneRoot@gmail.com. Good night, everyone.